Do you believe that saving money on your current income is nearly impossible? While saving money is relatively simpler when you have a high salary, saving money on a small income is still achievable. As a result, in this video, I'll show you 7 low-income saving hacks to save money on a limited budget. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe below for more life-changing content. Number 1. Learn to differentiate between wants and needs. Spending money makes us feel good, but when you're on a limited income and want to save, you need to be able to distinguish between your wants and your needs. For example, you may want but not need to upgrade your phone to the most recent model. You might want a new shirt for Friday night, but you probably already have a lot of good clothes. When you aren't making a lot of money, you must be extra careful and spend only necessities. So where do you draw the line between want and need? I consider anything that contributes to my survival to be a need. Food, clothing, housing, and transportation are examples of fundamental necessities. Buying a Ferrari is certainly transportation, but taking the bus takes you from point A to point B as well. Anything that isn't in your needs list, including extensions of stuff you currently own, is a want item. For example, suppose you wanted to update your phone solely to acquire a camera with an extra 2 megapixels. You can't always keep your spending to a bare minimum. So here's what I recommend if you do want to overspend on something. Set a financial goal for yourself, such as saving $1,000. And once you've achieved it, go ahead and buy the item you've been eyeing. This strategy works for 2 reasons. First, it helps you create a habit of setting financial objectives. And second, it allows you time to consider how deeply you want the item, as we frequently buy things on impulse, and afterwards experience the buyer's remorse. So, if you want to save money on a limited budget, you must be able to distinguish between wants and needs. Number 2. Set a budget for entertainment. We all want to have a good time, but for many people, this comes at a high price. Eating out, going to the bar after work, going to the movies, and other forms of entertainment could drain your bank account. But it doesn't have to. Going out to the club with my friends used to be my main source of entertainment when I was younger. But most nights were outrageously pricey. Most nights between going to and from the bar, ordering drinks, and paying cover can be $100 worth already in a night. As I grew older, my focus turned to establishing riches, and I didn't want to waste that time socializing with my friends. This inspired me to come up with innovative methods to spend quality time with my friends without breaking the bank. Going for walks has always been one of my favorite alternatives. But some other ideas I've come up with for you include holding dinner parties at home instead of at a restaurant, and watching a movie on Netflix instead of going to the cinema. To summarize, we all need to have fun, but we don't have to spend a fortune doing it. Number 3. Reduce your housing costs. Whether you rent or purchase, your housing costs will be your highest monthly expense. Many financial specialists recommend that your total rent or mortgage payments plus expenses should not exceed 35% of your monthly after-tax income. And while this item consumes a significant portion of your monthly income, it also provides the most opportunities for cost savings. Essentially, this allows you to save more money even if your salary is lower. For renters, there are several options for cutting housing costs. For example, instead of continuing to rent a 2-bedroom apartment, you may find a cheaper place to live. Perhaps a single room in someone's home will suffice. If you don't want to move though, it may be time to look into other options for lowering your existing rent. Negotiating in exchange for your services, such as making renovations for a rent reduction or agreeing to sign a longer lease, can be effective techniques if your landlord is concerned about tenant security. When I was renting, I used to get tax counseling and monthly bookkeeping services for a few $100s off my rent. This simple exchange of goods and services saved me thousands of dollars over the life of my lease, allowing me to save money while working part-time. And advice is slightly different if you're a homeowner. Even if you don't want to move out to save money, simple measures like turning off the lights and lowering your water usage can add up to significant savings over time. However, renting out a room is the best option to balance your housing costs. Renting out a room in your house can easily bring in an extra $100 each month, allowing you to put more money in your savings account at the end of the month. Number 4. Perform zero-sum budgeting. When you use zero-sum budgeting, you spend every single dollar you earn on purpose, but not in the way you may think. When you use zero-sum budgeting, you allocate your income to each of your spending line items, then transfer any remaining funds to your savings or investment accounts. To demonstrate this budgeting strategy, consider the following scenario. Let's say you make $2,000 each month after taxes at your employment. You would allocate the entire $2,000 to your monthly expense line items using the zero-sum budgeting method. Rent, car payments, petrol, groceries, and entertainment are all typical expenses. However, you would also construct a line item for savings. And after this listing is complete, you would assign your entire $2,000 to the line items, forcing you to save a portion of your income. This method is highly beneficial for those with the zero-sum budgeting method get to the end of the month and realize that they have no money left to save. You'll notice your bank account growing as long as you keep to your initial budget. Number 5. Stay out of debt. If you wish to save money on a lower than ideal wage, you must avoid debt at all costs. This is because debt prevents you from saving in two ways. To begin with, having debt implies making monthly payments to creditors, which would imply more money in your pocket at the end of the month if the debt could be avoided. Second, debt is usually always associated with monthly interest costs. For a $10,000 balance, these rates are normally around 3 to 5%, which means you'll be paying around $25 to $40 each month. While this may appear to be a small sum, when compounded regularly, it can quickly add up. When you add up the dollar worth of all your payments, as well as the interest charges, you can see how debt can make saving difficult on a modest salary. When it comes to credit card debt, the problem is only made worse. According to creditcards.com, the average credit card interest rate is 17.65% as of 2019. Getting into debt is costly, and you have a $6,348 credit card load, you're paying $1,120.42 in interest to credit card firms at that rate. As a result, if you wish to save money on a low salary, you must avoid debt and the interest charges that come with it at all costs. Number 6. Shop for groceries wisely. The typical monthly grocery bill for a family of 4 is estimated to be around $1,000. As a result, it is usually one of our larger monthly expenses. However, with a little organization and the ideas I'm going to share with you, cutting that number in half is not unreasonable. Planning your meals ahead of time is the first step towards lowering your monthly grocery spend. This will not only be beneficial to your health, but it will also ensure that you only purchase what you actually require. We waste a lot of food, whether we recognize it or not. According to a 2018 study published in Science Daily, Americans waste an average of a pound of food per day, which, if avoided, would result in a significant grocery savings. Aside from minimizing waste, planning ahead will allow you to buy foods on sale, reducing your weekly grocery bill from $250 to $200 or less, putting extra money in your pocket at the end of the month. The second way to save money on groceries is to eat less meat. Meat is by far the most expensive supermarket item on the market, making it an ideal target for cost cutting. Now, I'm not suggesting that you become a vegetarian to save money, but by reducing your meat consumption or replacing it with cheaper alternatives like beans, you can substantially reduce your grocery bill. The third suggestion for lowering your food costs is to just go grocery shopping with cash. People frequently find themselves hungry and ready to fill their shopping trolleys at the grocery store. This is made easier by the seemingly limitless ability to use credit. Instead, anticipate ahead of time what you'll need and just carry enough cash for what you'll buy. As a result, you don't surrender to your hunger. Number 7. Make your savings automatic. Automating your savings is the final stage in ensuring you save money even on a modest salary. Setting up automatic deductions from my pay with my work was one of the best things I've ever done for my finances. In essence, these deductions allowed me to transfer a portion of my paycheck to a savings account rather than depositing the entire amount into my bank account. When I first started this method, I saved 10% of my after-tax salary in my savings account. However, over time, I was able to increase this to around 20% and double my monthly savings. Now, there are two main reasons why I believe the saving method has been so successful. First and foremost, it helped me to determine exactly how much I wanted to save. In fact, you may set your automated deductions to the amount you designated as monthly savings in your zero-sum budget, tying the two money-saving approaches together. Second, It removed me from the burden of having to save, allowing me to concentrate on other essential things like improving my abilities in order to earn more money. I always teach that once you have a solid saving strategy in place, the number one method to save more money is to make more money, and by freeing up mental capacity, I was able to take on more freelance work, raising my savings. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment for more content. See you in the next one.